and welcome to this week's edition of Cooking the Books with Em. I shall be making, from Jamie Oliver's very first book, The Naked Chef, his fragrant green chicken curry. Can you believe that this book is 22 years old? Scary. A few little tweaks that I'm making here to make it, 1, a little bit easier, 2, a bit quicker, and 3, a little more adaptable, because I don't even have everything in this book, and that's okay. That's the whole point of this. It's basically broken down into 3 parts: the paste, the cooking of the chicken, and then the cooking of the whole dish together with the coconut milk. And I shall be serving this with some rice, which I'll also show you how to make, because strangely lots of people don't know how to. So the first thing I'm going to just run through quickly is his ingredients for the green curry paste and show you what little adaptations I'm making. He says 6 spring onions. Oh, I don't have any, so I'm just going to use an onion. 4 to 6 medium chilies, de-seeded and finely chopped. I've got 3 green chilies and I actually quite like it hot, so I'm going to keep the seeds in. 2 cloves of garlic, 3 cloves of garlic. 1 tablespoon of fresh root ginger, that's about that. 1 tablespoon of coriander seeds. I haven't got seeds, that doesn't matter. I'll use about half of that amount of ground coriander. Some salt and pepper, a handful of lime leaves. I haven't got any lime leaves. They're not always that easy to get. It doesn't really matter because we're going to be putting the zest of 3 limes in. So this is going to be zingy enough. So if you haven't got them, don't worry about it. 2 sticks of lemongrass. Yes, very important. Nice Thai flavour. You can get that in pretty much every supermarket. 2 handfuls of basil, 3 handfuls of coriander. Well, to be honest, a handful size is subjective, so just a good wodge. And then 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. No, Jamie, no, you know this. We only use extra virgin to dress food. We eat it cold because it's very volatile. It's a very delicate oil. So I'm just going to use some flavourless vegetable oil. I love him, by the way. He is all that is good in food for this country and making food accessible to people, but genuinely no. And I'm sure he would agree with me now. And then it also says 3 to 4 limes, zest and juice of. That's the ingredients for the paste. I'm not actually going to put the lime juice in the paste though, because it might make it a bit watery. I prefer to add it right at the end of the whole dish so that you can judge the level of zinginess for yourself. So I'm going to crack on and prepare all of this, and I'll see you when it's time to start cooking. Now what we have to do is fry it off, because there's a lot of raw ingredients in here, and if you don't fry it off properly, it'll just not taste very nice. So you need to be able to develop the flavours and give it a little bit of layering. So I'm going to fry off the paste. Then I'm separately going to sear the chicken, because by the time they've finished cooking in the sauce and the curry, if you put your rice on all at the same time, it'll all be ready at the same time. So that works out nicely, doesn't it? And also chicken thighs are a little bit more economical, and they're my favourite. So let's crack on with the paste cooking. Mr. Oliver says that if you have time, well no, he says you should marinate your chicken in some of the paste, but I haven't got time to do that, and it's not going to make a huge amount of difference. If you do have time, then that's great. But if you don't, it's going to make very little difference. Medium heat, don't want it too high, don't want it to burn. But you do want things to happen. Right, I'm putting my frying pan for the chicken on the highest heat. I'm not going to add any oil to it because there's a little bit more fat in chicken thighs than you would get in a chicken breast. And so you don't need it. This is a non-stick frying pan as well, so it'll be fine. But as long as your frying pan is hot enough, even if it's not non-stick, it's ready to turn when you can move it. Another top tip. Quite a lot of steam in here. If the whole purpose of cooking the chicken breast first, rather than cooking off the paste and then putting in the coconut milk and then adding the raw chicken to the sauce to kind of poach in the sauce, is that the cooking of the chicken and the searing and a little bit of the caramelization on the outside will really add some extra chickeny umami flavor to your curry, which is why I do it like this. And also, if you sear it off first, it won't take as long to cook in the actual sauce. I'm just not sure if you're going to be able to see it on this camera. So our paste has been cooking for about 5 minutes. I don't know, I have to check the video timer. But now I can smell, there's a cooked onion smell about it. I can smell the garlic and I can smell the ginger. I can actually smell the chilies too, which might not be a good sign. But it's lost all that raw smell about it. So I'm going to add the coconut milk now. Chicken's nicely browned, so that can go in too. I know they're in massive pieces, but that's okay, because once they've cooked for long enough, you can eat it with a knife and fork if you want to, but if you're a fork person, like we are in this house, then it will just shred really, really easily once it's cooked. So that's almost a good signal to tell you that it's ready. So I'm going to pop all the chicken down into the curry sauce. Right down. It's quite fierce. And at this stage I'm going to add the juice of 2 of the limes and our seasoning, which I am yet to add. Don't forget my little tip from a hummus video. Take the inner bits out so you get more juice out. Thank you for everyone who said that was useful. So there we go. That's come up to a little simmer, lid on, and then I'm going to cook that for as long as it takes to cook the rice, which I'll show you how to do now. So I have some brown basmati rice here. Basically going to add a cup of rice. This is a small cup, by the way. This is going to be generous servings of rice. I don't weigh it, but if you want to weigh anywhere between 60 grams and 80 grams per person, 100 if you're really hungry, level out. This goes in the pan. And then I add double the quantity of boiling water. I used to live in Hong Kong when I was a child, and my father learned how to cook rice there. I think he learned there, maybe it was somewhere else, I don't know. But anyway, I remember him cooking rice there, and he taught me how to make it this way. And it's right, and you don't need to change it, it works every time. Bring it up to the boil, give it a stir, lid on, turn it right down to the lowest heat you can, not off though, and then leave it to cook until all the water has been absorbed into the rice. It's that simple. It'll probably take about 20 minutes. Brown rice does take a little bit longer, 20-25 minutes. And the way you can tell it's cooked is if you take the lid off and you tilt the pan, if the rice doesn't move, there's no water left. If the rice does move, there's water left, so put it back on. And don't worry about the fact that you tilt the lid off, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so I'll come back in 20 minutes and then it'll be time for dinner. Our chicken is looking lovely. Bubbling away nicely, and if you see, it's very, very easy just to use a couple of forks to break the pieces apart if you don't want to serve them in massive portions. I will say that I use about 800 grams of chicken in this dish because I wanted to double up, because it's massively convenient. A meal prep is important because it saves time. So there's enough for 4 people in there. There's probably enough for 6, but I forgot vegetables. So we're going to have extra chicken tonight instead. So that's the chicken, and this is our rice. So if I can just show you this, I want you to see that the rice does not move. So for the rice is cooked, turn all this off, hands out of the way. Taste, very, very important. Must taste everything. I know the rice is cooked, so I know what it tastes like because it always tastes the same, but this bit's important. It's really very good. I don't actually think it needs any more lime. I think the amount of lime zest that's gone in there is absolutely perfect. So that was a zest of 3 limes and the juice of 2. It's coconutty, it's got lovely lime and lemongrass and herby flavours to it. It's really good. You'll like it. Anyone who knows me will know that I'm much more of a flavour person than a presentation person. That's plenty. A little bit left over, but I'll make some fried rice with that probably. Thanks, fridge. If I were doing some vegetables, it would be sugar snaps or mange tout or broccoli or something. I just feel it's a bit bland. And I've run out of coriander. Solitary red chilli. And apologies for my overfull chopping board. Oh, that's really bad form, but I'm hungry and I want to eat it. There we go, that's better. Be more Jamie. Jamie's Fragrant Green Chicken Curry with M.